Greetings, everyone. I am Eric Paulson with Your Essential Practice. For today's rune reading, it's going to be about Mercury Retrograde in Capricorn, but don't let out that collective sigh yet. This is probably going to be the most comfortable Mercury Retrograde in recent memory. Why? Because it's in the sign of Capricorn. It seems like it's in divine timing because it's right after the new moon, right after the 12/12 portal, and this goes up until the first of the year. So it's really a great time to be in reflective state, to really make sure that we're being understood correctly, to make sure that any agreements, any communications that we're entering into, anything that we're resolving or absolving, right? It goes both ways. So it really gives us the opportunity to make sure that we're in the right frame of mind, that we're grounded and, very earth-like energy like the Capricorn, right? That we're being very independent and focused and driven towards that goal on the first of the year. Whatever that case may be for you, take what resonates and leave what doesn't as we get into today's rune reading. Greetings, everyone. Let's take this moment and cleanse the space energetically with this singing bowl. And in the singing bowl, I always have this $2 note representing uncommon abundance because, the $2 note's very uncommon, right? So we're giving thanks, giving gratitude for that uncommon abundance in our lives while we simultaneously just invite more in. We're going to take 3 deep cleansing breaths in right now through our nose and out through the mouth, not forcing any of it, just nice 3 deep cleansing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth. Getting into this Mercury retrograde. Now, a lot of people misunderstand Mercury retrograde. They think it's, oh, great, this, okay, great, now that, okay, I just can't win in Mercury retrograde. The whole world is against me. Well, when you keep manifesting like that, what do you expect? This is a chance, a really good chance for you to review your communication. How am I doing my self-talk? What are my thoughts? Thoughts are communication too, with yourself. That's a form of self-talk. How are you being understood, perceived by others? Are you communicating effectively? So this Mercury retrograde is going to have you reflecting on a lot of that. Beautiful. Let's get right into it, shall we? I'm going to shuffle these up a little bit more. All right. First, in our past energies, we have, oh my goodness, this is Thor's hammer, y'all. Okay, so now Thor's hammer is Mjolnir. Mjolnir, that's the name of the hammer, right? It's the lightning strike. It's a very thorough, very quick, very concise type of action, right? So it also is resemblant of a giant, or is also called a thorn. Now, you see how it's kind of shaped like a thorn, and it goes into the flesh a little bit. Now, we don't want to just halfway pull out a thorn, do we? We want to pull the thorn out all the way so that then the skin can close back up, right? And so that we can heal. When you're on this path, right, and you encounter this giant, this has to be addressed very quickly, right? Very, very thoroughly before you can proceed to move onto your path and have it as undisturbed as it was before. So you're dealing with a lot of this, having to deal with things like urgently with Theorizos, that's the name of the rune, here in the past energies. So you're really having to be focused, have that focused power in your past. And you're coming from a very good place as far as that goes, as long as you're not coming or from it with ego, or going through that with your ego, like getting sort of pissed off about it, for example. So let's see what the current energies here are. These are your discipline. This is very much the rune of success. This is justice. This is also self-sacrifice. So just have faith, because right now in your practices, in your essential practices, right, you're getting back to the basics, and you're being applauded for that, because this addressing things fully has you in your victory. Addressing things fully has you in your victory naturally. When you don't, and you're in your self-sacrifice, you're just into this martyrdom, and that would be like a reversed rune then. All right, so then martyrdom is something that you are trying to not really resonate with right now, right? You want to get that victory, that justice, that clarity, right? This is also, incidentally, this is the god Tyr's rune. This rune's name is Tiwaz, right? This is also about maybe if you have like an important legal matter that you're attending to right now, that it is in your favor. Okay, so let's get into this next upcoming energy. See, I see you doing a lot of meditation work right now. You've been really getting into thoroughly addressing things through meditation, and that's sort of a self-sacrifice. This right here is the rune of divine downloads communication. This is called Anzus, right? And this is also like divine downloads type of communication, prophetic dream work, right? So a lot of intuitive hits and knowings. So getting ready and into this Mercury retrograde now. Let's see how this applies to the Mercury retrograde, right? In Capricorn, this has us fiercely independent, like that Capricorn energy, right? And it has us into our sense of justice, which Capricorn again, right? And that divine communication, just coming from that place of knowing, divinely knowing and intuiting, that intuitive dream work, right? Very, very strong stuff, and you're very grounded in that aspect, right? So that's beautiful, very soon energies coming for you. So be paying attention to those intuitive hits that come in. Pay attention to your dreams, right? Pay attention to the divine communications that come in. When you are in your meditation reflection at the end of the day, when you're reflecting like you ought to with Mercury retrograde, reflecting on how you communicated throughout the day. How was I misunderstood? How could I have been understood better? How could I have communicated more efficiently, effectively? How could I have not led to this misunderstanding or something like that, right? Pay attention to what divine is telling you, all right? Because the future action taken for the best outcome here has you in a harvest, a sense of a harvest. So you are going to be reaping what you sow from this current energy, and really these divine downloads. This is really going to be a lot of directional force for you. Not necessarily a rune of movement. However, this is Jera. This is the rune of harvest. This is a process, a gain, a growth. This is the end of a cycle, which begins a new one, right? So what we reap, we sow. Okay, so this is going to be a beautiful energy to be reflecting with. This harvest type of energy. We are at the end of the year. So right now we are reflecting on the harvest. I'm being told to tell you, definitely these last couple weeks out of the year here, these last couple weeks of December, right? You really are going to be benefited greatly by meditation work. Going within, reflecting on your harvest and your self-sacrifices and how thoroughly you've addressed things. Pay attention to these divine downloads as you get them. All right, so let's look at our thoughts, feelings, and emotions on this matter. Yep, a little bit of a sense of identity here. So some of us might be dealing with an identity crisis when we're not dealing with Mercury retrograde in a healthy way. Or maybe we're trying to see Mercury retrograde under a new light. Whichever it is, your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are directly correlated with your divine downloads, with your intuition. So when you're looking at that harvest, you can look at it as a glass half full or a glass half empty scenario, and that's really up to you. This is manas. This is the self, humanity, culture, right? This is your labels, like 3D labels, right? This is how you are focusing. Okay, this is almost the opposite of this divine downloads of Ansus, right? These are almost opposites, but you can make them work together. By looking at the harvest, you're seeing both sides of the coin. You see how those arrows are going both ways too. You see how there's two opposing clan flags here. You see how there's two forks coming down for those downloads. So maybe you are into this harvest and you're really getting into that mental energy some more. You're really understanding things in a new light under this Capricorn, Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. So this is a rune of more fire movement. So this is what we, in the position of what we could risk of loss or possible problems. Okay, so this is Kenaz, Kenaz, right? And this is also the rune of the torch, or forward movement, lighting the path, always forward progress. So the torch is like shining a light on something. So what we have to possibly lose is that clarity, is that shining a light with those downloads, doing that inner work. If you're not doing that inner work, how are you going to get that clarity? How are you going to shine those lights on the deeper, dark aspects of yourself that you are not being honest with yourself about, right? So as we move this fire, this light forward, we do have that to risk and to lose if we're not into a healthy sense of that. I'm just really strongly getting that meditation work, y'all. So definitely, if you're not doing meditation work, you obviously, yes, you do risk that clarity. You do risk losing those divine downloads, right? But what you do have to gain from all of this, what the possible outcome is a beautiful divine feminine rune. This is Lagos. This is sea, lake, flow, dowsing, literal dowsing even. This could also mean a more prophetic dream work going in with this. So when we're into this, we're getting, meditation work, we're getting more into healing our emotional selves, right? Healing our divine feminine, right? Noticing that the light is shining in places shining on some very uncomfortable places. So that self-sacrifice that you're in right now, you're called to be very honest with yourself, because with these two directly across from each other, this is what your light needs to be shined on or shown on, right, really. So it's justice. Do yourself some justice. Focus on what you are harvesting. What are you harvesting at the end of the year here? Let me know in the comments below. Are you harvesting this beautiful, healed, divine feminine work? Or are you going to dim your shine? Or are you going to increase this light? Right? Are you going to increase your knowing and your beautiful harvest, right? Know that what we sow is what we reap. We can't go into all of this thinking that, okay, well, I did my journaling, I did my Hail Marys or whatever the heck, my spiritual practices without any practical application, like really seriously getting into confronting yourself, right? Getting into that divine download, that discipline, right? Getting into that discipline. You can't do it without getting into some sort of a disciplined activity. You can't just lay back and say, oh, yep, universe has got it. It's kind of like the scenario of the ant and the grasshopper. The ant was at least making nice forward progress, right? That grasshopper wasted all of his time playing. And when winter came, who was prepared? Who was successful when winter came? The grasshopper had to come knocking on the ant's door, right? Or had to come up to the anthill to beg for food, to beg for shelter, because it wasted all of its time. It wasted this beautiful discipline that it could have had. these divine communications that it received from the ant, right? So it might be a poor analogy. I don't know. Just let me know in the comments below. Let's get some cards for clarification on this matter. These are Soul's Journey cards. These are messages straight from Divine, directly to your spirit, directly to your soul. So Divine, I'm asking for the collective, do you have any clarity for us for Mercury retrograde in Capricorn? And yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Blame is the card for this, and it says, I accept responsibility for my well-being. Clearing my throat on purpose here. Like, that wasn't I'm under the weather kind of thing still, right? I'm feeling much better, right? We can't be playing that blame game, not when we're addressing things thoroughly, right? Not when Mercury's in retrograde in Capricorn. It's all on our shoulders. But you know what? You might be thinking, oh, great, roll your eyes, get into, when you expect that sort of stuff with Mercury retrograde, how are you surprised? I mean, how could you expect any different, right? When you're into this divine healing work that you're doing, this discipline work, this downloads, this reflecting on this last year, reflecting on your habits, your communication, how you are understood, right? We get some light shine on that, right? We have a better sense of humanity, our sense of self, our sense of identity in the collective, right? And our emotions are a little more stable and better for it, right? Because I dare anybody to tell me out there that their emotions and their entire outcome is not to blame on their own actions. You can blame Mercury retrograde. You can blame your ex-significant other or whatnot. But really, this says, I accept responsibility for my well-being. When you're doing this, you are accepting it in a healthy way. So congratulations if that's you. All right, let's read on this card some more. Again, it says, I accept responsibility for my well-being. It is so easy to give away the power to transform your life. Certainly, there have been people along your path who have shaped you into who you are today. But you are solely responsible for your own happiness. The ego can be a very fragile thing, and if it comes under fire, the first instinct is to blame an outside force. Victim consciousness weakens the connection that you have with your soul source, right? Get out of that victim mentality, everyone. This mindset says, I don't have the power inside myself to break free because someone else's power is stronger. Handing over those invisible reins to your life much? Okay, get into that discipline, right? When you're into this, you will be a lot more in control of your life to so many degrees that you can't even recognize right now, right? This goes on to say that this is an illusion when you blame this other force, right? This is an illusion. When you believe that someone else is responsible for your problems, that belief is the problem. Personal responsibility can empower you to change your reality. Lasting transformation always begins on the inside and works its way out. There is a difference between a reason and an excuse. A reason is valid and unavoidable. Unavoidable. And the excuse is the attempt to shift blame. So, lecture over. Let's see what the fairies have to say for more added clarity on this Mercury retrograde in Capricorn. Okay, there's a card that I think wanted to come out. Let's try that again. Fairies, what message of clarity do you have to offer for the collective today for this Mercury in Capricorn retrograde? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Y'all, this is going to be a lot easier of a retrograde than you think, right? Get into that divine download self-talk more. We had 2 cards from the fairies today, y'all. Beautiful. Look at that. First card out. Everything is okay. Don't worry. It's all working out in a beautiful way. Y'all, don't worry. You got this. Divine can help. Get into your meditation work. Go back to basics. I call this your essential practice because that's what a lot of us need to do, is just go back to the essential practices portion of what led us to this point. Why are we here? Get into these essential practices, right? Breathing work, color therapy, aromatherapy, right? Counseling, meditation. Okay, assertiveness. Stand up for your beliefs and only say yes if you really want to. Only say yes if you really want to. Only say yes if you really want to. Y'all, there's been a bit going around here recently with the energies that I've been posting along with social media. That goes along the lines of like, don't let someone else proofread your vision, or something like that. Or another one was, don't take advice from people who are nowhere near where your goal is. Do not take advice from them, okay? Because everything's okay. You're being assertive. You're not taking or placing blame. That's the victim mentality. Everything will work out. You're assertive. You're assertive. Right now, you're even assertive. Everything's okay. You're looking at your harvest. You're looking back and it's beautiful. You're getting those divine downloads. You're meditating. You're healthier for it. And you can feel that better sense of identity for it. Your path is lit. And you're going to light up some other corners of your life that have long needed it. And you're going to heal so much emotionally, right? Also, spending time near water will help you with healing those emotions. Let's get into this. Everything is okay. Card here. It says, don't worry, it's all working out in a beautiful way. The fairies know that you're concerned about the outcome of this situation. So they've sent this card to you as reassurance that everything's working out in a divinely perfect way. Divine downloads. Pay attention to those. Take steps to uplift your outlook and unburden your heart and mind, such as taking a nature walk, spending time with loved ones, exercising, or enjoying a creative project. The more you can stay centered and filled with faith, the better the outcome you'll experience. This is justice, discipline, faith. This is also faith, these divine downloads. This is also faith. This is also faith. Y'all, you got this. You got this. Just overthinking it. You're overthinking this whole retrograde, right? Everything's okay. Additional meanings for this card is write down your concerns on paper and then ceremoniously dispose of the list by burning it, pouring water over it, or even burying it. Talk to the people involved in order to double check your facts. Your worries may be based upon untrue assumptions. And finally, make sure you're getting enough rest and eating healthfully, as physical strain can lead to anxiety and exhaustion. Let's look at this assertiveness. I believe this is the first time we've had the assertiveness card on this channel. Beautiful, though. Look at that beautiful card. Assertiveness says, stand up for your beliefs and only say yes if you really want to. One reason why the fairies are so happy is because they're assertive with each other. Now, this doesn't mean that they're in their egos, y'all. It just means they're assertive. They're communicating effectively. Assertiveness, in contrast, honors everyone's rights, including your own. Assertive people are always easy to get along with because you always know where you stand with them. You always know where you stand with them. Your current situation calls for you to be assertive. Speak your truth with love. Speak your truth with love and let go of unhealthy, old communication habits. You're doing this thoroughly right now, and you're called to stick with it. Do it even more fully, because you're in a divine success now, getting those downloads in your reflective state. You're celebrating such a beautiful harvest here in these coming couple weeks during this Mercury retrograde in Capricorn that you have no idea the blessings that are in store for you in 2024. Manifest away. Additional meanings for this card are read books or take a class on assertiveness. Don't do anything out of guilt or obligation. Or be a good role model for others by practicing this trait. Or say no to this request. Okay, if y'all are having a yes or no dilemma right now, your answer right now is no. Say no assertively in a healthy way. Don't take blame. Don't place blame. It is what it is. Right? But do so thoroughly and with discipline. Because your assertive nature will open doors. Finally, the final meaning for this card could be true to yourself and your values. You can always lead by example. Like that misquote that I always see on social media by Gandhi, right? And I do say misquote because it is a misquote, but the message is still there. And it says, be the change you want to see in the world. Be it. Don't wish it. Don't, dream about it. I mean, you can, obviously, but the most effective way is be assertive with it. Know that everything's okay. You're not putting blame on this, that, or the other thing and making excuses. You are acting. You're acting in a state of being. You're knowing. You're coming from a sense of knowing. That's how you manifest it, people. That assertiveness, that beautiful harvest. You want to increase this harvest by next year? Get into this, right? At the end of my readings, I like to do a nice chakra token. And we'll go over like a chakra token mudra and some more meditative work. So a part that we can work on for this, and this is beautiful, y'all. This is going to go along with the assertiveness, knowing that everything's okay and not placing blame. This is the solar plexus chakra. So what I like to do is go over a little bit of solfeggio frequency and a hand mudra to help us with our meditative practices. Okay, so the solar plexus chakra is a miracle tone. It is 5 to 8 hertz, 528 hertz. And the solar plexus chakra is located in the chest. Located below the chest, just below the chest. And it is above the navel. It's the center of your self-esteem. All right, and confidence and personal identity. Anyone who is struggling to live authentically has control issues or manipulative tendencies or just low self-esteem would be said to have a blocked solar plexus chakra. If you're playing that blame game, you need to do some more of that solar plexus chakra work too, right? To work with this frequency of 528 hertz, not only does 528 hertz facilitate love and change and healing, right? It also goes down to the microscopic mitochondrial level of healing your DNA, right? It really helps. It is such a miracle tone. Do some research on 528 hertz. I dare you. Okay? When you've opened up your solar plexus chakra, you should feel more positive about life and open and honest with yourself and others. So that will help with your assertiveness and knowing that everything's okay when this is healed. So if this is your mentality now and getting into the solar plexus work, that will be your outcome. 528 hertz can be listened to passively, y'all. All these solfeggio frequencies that I go over to can be listened to passively, but it is recommended also that you at least try it during your meditation practice, right? Now, the solar plexus mantra is RAM, R-A-M. So you want to recite RAM while you are in the 528 hertz meditation. Now, the solar plexus chakra mudra is not in from the prayer position, but it can be a single-handed position if you like. But I like to use both hands to set them on my lap, and that's perfect, right? You're putting the pinky and the middle fingers out forward first, right? And the thumb, index, and ring fingers are connected. Setting that on your lap, closing your eyes, saying Ram, 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 528 hertz playing. Y'all, I can already feel it. It's beautiful. The color, of course, is a beautiful golden yellow, kind of like a whitish light, right? And you can have that emanating out from the center of your body. Watch it go to your fingertips. Watch it go to your toes, the top of your head, throughout your whole body. Beautiful work, y'all. Beautiful reading, everyone. Again, thank you so much for being here in this energetic space here with me. I've been Eric Paulson with Your Essential Practice. That mantra, again, is RAM, R-A-M. That beautiful golden white light, right down in here. And it goes throughout your whole body, right? And it's that sense of security, stability, honesty, right? Justice, right? Just that, I got this. And I got it because the universe gives me that strength and the knowledge to do it. I've been doing my meditative work. This Mercury Retrograde got nothing on me because this Capricorn Mercury Retrograde at the end of the year has me celebrating that harvest, has me reaffirming all the good communication that I've done, right? And correcting some of the oopsies, right? So, mantra, Ram, here's the mudra, right? On our lap, going Ram, R-A-M, 528 hertz, 528 hertz. Y'all, it's hands down probably my favorite solfeggio frequency. There are other favorite frequencies that I do have, but the 528 solfeggio is probably hands down the easiest and the most widely undervalued one, really, because it really does just passively just improves your life. I cannot explain it any better than that. You're just going to have to get out there and experience it yourself, get in that discipline work, and happy healing your divine feminine, y'all, because when you're doing this, when you're addressing this in a healthy way, you're being kind to yourself emotionally, mentally, right, spiritually, and physically as a result. And so that will thank you in return here when we get into closer of the new full moon, when it gets into 2024 here, which is going to be just enormous, y'all. This next year, buckle up, buttercup, and just dot your I's, cross your T's here at the end of the year, and get ready, because it's going to take off. Namaste. Have a blessed and abundant day.